Laters. Got priced in a slight downtrend. We are about a minute till open. Have not touched a gold zone yet today. We are kind of rejecting off of the 100. So we'll get magnetized to one of these gold zones. Some volume to the top side. 'Got some volume to the top here. Big volume. Three minutes left. Two and a half minutes, got some volume to the top. possibly getting magnetized towards the 500 and R1. Massive volume. So not unless we are getting bamboozled to the top side. That's some pretty big volume. Previous high, the high of the day, we have the London high. 30 seconds left. So that's the 100 that we're on. We're coming back down to perp here. See if we support off of perp. See what we're doing.
Good morning. Today we're gonna eat gyoza. Looks so yummy. Guys, the best way to start your morning. I don't know how people
Supporting perp. Let's see if we are staying to the top side of perp or not.
Good morning. Today we're gonna eat gyoza.
Wick to perp. So it looks like we're still trying to figure out if we're gonna stay above perp.
Don't let your coworkers put you in a bad mood.
So I got price supporting perp here. Kind of a doji forming. Looks like price is trying to make up its mind on whether it wants to stay above or below. I'll be right back. I'm gonna use the bathroom. Still kind of fighting perp. We do have that downtrend line, that downtrend that we were in during London. It's really trying to see if we're going to respect that. If maybe 630 was just a little bamboozle push out of the downtrend. The 100 is playing the resistance there. So possible BRC. Possible BRC. Now that price is back on perp, right? We got the breakout, the retest, possible continuation. We got big ass support now, 4 minutes left. It's a very big chance of a BRC here, depending on how this ends. All we gotta do is fight the previous high, possibly get attracted to R1 and R500 up there to the north. But we got big rejection once more to the top. Just be patient, guys. Let it speak to you. So still pretty big rejection to the top. Where does price want to go? Once again, I'm still looking at two things. I'm looking at the BRC to go up. If price can stay above perp. If not, price might push back down into this downtrend. So there's some things that make me want to hold out for the sell side because we're underneath the 500, but I'm also looking at how far away from the 500 we are, and you guys know that price likes to get attracted back to the 500, and that would kind of make sense if that was to play out, because price today did not touch a gold zone, so we'll get magnetized towards one of these gold zones. So far the big push has been to the top side. We got some rejection over the last 3 candles, and we got a little bit more buying volume here now. So if we get another confirmation to stay above perp, that would make me feel good about the top side. But right now, reading candles, wicks to the top are worrying to me. But we're still staying above perp, so it really is. I'm just waiting for price to kind of make its mind up. There's always going to be that one candle that reconfirms the decision. You guys know that. Be patient. Wait for it. massive volume. It's a big volume pushing through. We got the high of the day. Looks like we're pulling up on the 200. See if we get this final push to R1 gold zone 500 area. I'm just going to watch closely as we try to break the high of the day. Because we pushed pretty nicely off perp, but we're pushing directly into the high of the day, which would be previous day S2 and the 200. So there's a few things standing in the way of both directions this morning. So big rejection there. That's now coming into the 200. So we're really fighting in between the 200 and perp. It's a pretty big rejection off the high of the day. Still supporting though. So sellers are fighting the high of the day right now. Big support. Big support. Big support. Fighting this high. Fighting this high support to the bottom.
Educate you and then inspire you, motivate you, and then give you access to the market to be able to trade. Okay? We offer you Wall Street Global Trading Academy.
So what I'm looking at is a possible sun up to sundown candlestick pattern. Like if this candle goes big bearish, then that would be forming a sun up, sundown candlestick pattern. And that's a pretty big reversal pattern. But we're still getting some support here, so looks like we might be. And we have our little uptrend forming, little intraday here. So purpose playing support. It's just a slow movement right now. I'm just gonna watch price closely, because if we reject the high of the day, that makes sense. But also if we continue up above perp, that makes sense as well. So a little balancing act we have to do, and unfortunately the candles are more, I mean, it's in an uptrend. We definitely are in an uptrend, moving up slowly. Let me go look at the other assets, see if they can give us any. So Nas is heading up as well. S&P's hit a wall as well. So both indices, all three indices have kind of hit a wall right here. They're all at the highs of their days. And that means gold should be up. Yeah. So that's the one thing nice about paying attention to gold with any other American asset, especially with how you guys heard like crypto and a lot of prices went down. Every time normal assets drops in value, gold will shoot up because people will put their money into gold. And then you'll notice like sometimes when price drops, when price gets better and rises, gold will sometimes drop. People just move their money. You know, they consider gold the safe haven asset. So when people run out of things to buy or they're scared of their money being in a certain asset, they'll take it out, put it right into gold. So we got big rejection here. Still supporting. So that's why to see gold, shoot up as of like 2 days ago, well, Friday, right? Price has been steadily going up for gold. Anytime there's fear in the market, people buy gold. And gold is what, like at 4,000? 4,000 an ounce? Yeah, that's crazy. S&P is the most traded indice, and that goes for about 6,600 right now. Nas is second traded most, and they're about 24/7. And then we trade the US30. We're priced at like $46,000 a share. That's crazy. So we got price still rejecting, still on top of perp, making some pressure to the downside. So two things I see possibly forming here. We're either, continuing this BRC as prices above perp, or we're forming another head and shoulders. So if we form a head and shoulders, we'll probably break down, but you have to wait for that to happen. If it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. We don't even think about it. I'm just forecasting what could happen and prepared for it. So, but we're either gonna head and shoulders down, or we're gonna support stay above perp, slow trickle upwards. We're in the uptrend channel, and that's why when we're like this, when we have this little type of movement where it is just, it's an M, right? It's an M facing the opposite direction though, right? Usually the strong M's, we have the higher high than the lower high. But right now we have a higher high. So when we're in a series of higher highs, well, we are in an uptrend. So we're fighting against being in an uptrend and price pushing us back underneath that downtrend. But we trade the now, right? And the now, and what we see, price has broken that downtrend and we're above perp. So let's see. All of a sudden the sun is going up later and later. I swear just yesterday the sun was rising at like 6. So got some rejection here back to perp. I'm gonna take a zoom out and see if there's any reason why we wouldn't be going up. We do have a downtrend on the 1 hour that we broke down hella. I do see a downtrend channel. I did not see that. So we are at a spot where I would think price would bounce up. And that's what we did yesterday. Yeah. Okay. What a time to be alive for you and yours. It's an easy game if you can control your emotions. Warren Buffett. Berkshire Hathaway. Doesn't that name just sound so prestigious? Berkshire Hathaway. Why is Berkshire Hathaway called that? Berkshire Hathaway got its name from the merger of two 19th century New England textile companies, the Berkshire Fine Spinning Associates and the Hathaway Manufacturing Company. Damn, they weren't even in investments. So we got more volume here pushing up. This is where I'm saying we're either going to continue up or we are going to make a head and shoulders pattern. 3 minutes and 46 seconds left. Hathaway Manufacturing Company was founded in 1888. Berkshire Hathaway Fine Spinning Associates began in 1889 in Adams, Massachusetts. By 1955, the companies were struggling as textile manufacturing began moving to the southern U.S. They merged to form Berkshire Hathaway, combining their names to preserve. In the 1960s, Warren Buffett began buying shares because the company's stock looked cheap compared to its assets. Eventually, he took control, and although the textile business kept failing, Buffett used the corporate shell to pivot into investing in insurance, starting with Geico and later into a massive BNSF, Dairy Queen, and Apple stock. Even after the textile mills closed in 85, Buffett kept the name Berkshire Hathaway because it had history, formality, and credibility, qualities used for an investment conglomerate. That's timing, man. To be alive during then, to have money to put into, you'd have to know. You'd have to know. You know, I think about when I was younger and my parents and even my grandma them, and they had no idea about investments like that. But I'm thinking about the money that they did have, and I'm like, some of that could have gone into some stock. And we probably could have some really good lives right now. Even with stocks bought in the last 100 years. Like that's how substantial money got. But oh well, they didn't know. I'm sure majority of our families didn't really know how to invest. So we got a minute 24. I'm looking at candles right now, and the wicks to the top, there's quite a bit of them. Price is still above perp, but it's just slow moving. We're still trying to fight the high of the day and the 200. Once again, I'm still watching out for this head and shoulders pattern to form, and I'm still watching to see if we'll stay above perp. So not wanting to break this area, getting dangerously close to possibly forming that head and shoulders, but we are still getting some support all of a sudden. So we're still stuck here too, and if we're, pay attention to where we are relative to 630's candle. We are still inside of 630's candle. So now we're getting some rejection again, and we're back on perp. Big volume. So that's us rejecting the top. 2 minutes left. We are getting some support here. Monday volume is a little shaky. Once again, that's the 200 and the high of the day that we are rejecting. Still some support here though. Minute 20 left. Sellers are really trying to fight the high. Minute left, wick to the bottom. Once again, possible BRC that it's breaking, retesting again, continue. Or there really could be a head and shoulders pattern forming here. Boom, 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 boom. Big wick to the bottom, 30 seconds left. Big support on perp again. It's just a game of cat and mouse here. So big push down here. Not wanting to break the high. Underneath perp, but on the uptrend. Make up your mind, chart. Come on. Another wick to the bottom. This Monday is Mondaying. So big volume pushing down. Two and a half minutes left. That'll get us under perp. A big support to the bottom again. Make up your mind. So we're just stuck. We're literally in between the high and the low of the day. That's really it. So that's got us under perp now. Oh boy, what a shit movement. I mean, it just rejected off the high of the day, so makes sense. Now let's see if volume keeps us underneath P gold zone. If we don't get a break here, we're probably just going to be ranging, so we'll see. I know I'll at least stay on a minimum to 8:15, but if we're just ranging till then, that might be shit. But we did reject off the high of the day. That's also the 200. We're underneath the 500. Whew. Chopsticks to the bottom, forming right now. Just a really shitty range we're stuck in. Yep, very possible. We got, what, 2 minutes left on the candle? That sucks though. I mean, I guess you just have to choose what you believe in right now. You can either believe that chopsticks to the bottom forming but underneath perp will continue up, or do you still respect perp as prices underneath it? I mean, chopsticks are strong, but I don't know, sometimes it's better to do nothing. But that's pretty strong. Da, 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 da. La, da, da, in the morning. Then we'd have to truly believe that it's going to break the high of the day. That's my only problem, right? Like, I'm trying to see where the overall push will be. And if that's pushing us here, we still have the high of the day that we rejected. It's a pretty shitty movement. But that is big support there. Now we're back above perp. I need to see this break. If it doesn't break, I don't believe. be the way it used to be. Baby, I wanna take my risk in it.
An agent, agentic AI, this the thing that is the new buzzword that everything that used to be an assistant now is.
We're stuck at that.
These
That was
are
the
some
support
pretty
off the
crazy claims that
100.
we're facing, and signals that
Getting
we're
some
being
volume to the
watched
top.
pretty closely of the introduction of this sort of. I like this motherfucker. I like this. I like this motherfucker. One of my hidden talents is that I'm super flexible. See? I don't know why. Oh, wait, I forgot. I'm an influencer. This is Pay Later by Grab's first ever pop-up, and you are invited. I'm kidding. I mean, it's cool. Just come, yeah. Pay Later by Grab isn't just about postpaid and 4 months installments anymore. Hey, ooh, they should just do a yoga class. Oh, babe, I think this looks simple. We just have to hold the pose for 1 minute. You can now split your payments over 8 and 12 months installments. Book online and install with 0% interest. Almost as flexible as I am right now. So, you come here often? They care about flexible people who are not shopping. Backup time. I want to watch Inside. There are 3 different variants I can pick. There are quick touchy functions with foldable recycle bags. And if you spend $50 with Pay Later by Grab, you get the game for free. With your Pay Later by Grab activated, you can also snap some pictures. I use Pay Later by Grab all the time, so far nothing yet. But now they let you pay in 4, 8, or 12 months. Happening outside processing right now, so hurry down. Flexible payments. You mean flexible payments? One of my hidden talents is that I'm super flexible. See? I don't know why. Oh, wait, I forgot. I'm an influencer. This is Pay Later by Grab's first ever pop-up, and you are.
So still resisting the top there. This is one of those days where volume is just not good. We're not breaking out of that 630 candle. I need to see price get above that 630 candle to believe. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. 630 right there. Just stuck in between that. Laka laka he, laka ha, laka loo. No, we're gonna go somewhere.
This is like a stroll down memory lane. One of my first jobs was in event photography sales, and I was basically selling photo booth services as well as roving photography services for corporate and private clients. I had to go out and meet a lot of clients, and it was very scary for a 19, 20-year-old back then. But it was great. I had a lot of fun and I learned a lot. While I was in school, I took an internship with a media company. I joined a wedding band. If I did 3 nights a month, that would be $600. One of my internships paid 2.5K a month. That was only for 3 months, so 7.5 in total. And for my first full-time job, I was working in an agency as a strategist. But I also spent a lot of my time focusing on building different. Which platform do you use for apartment hunting? What is the best lease agreement? Love it. The weather is really cold outside, so I have to wear these warmers straight up before we even leave. This is a top that I think I would see myself wearing again. But I love this tag. Look at these nips. I love the mesh that seems like pink. Tattoos that I usually don't show. Very cute. I have a bunch of bracelets here. You can't see, which is like my dumplings. This little butterfly skirt thing, which doesn't give me the most flat protection, so we're gonna do something about that. It is really fun. Let's use Pedro for these amazing knee-high boots that have served me so well for 54 and beyond. I have actually made some leg warmers in these.
Support the perp.
I got these on chains for extra texture, and I think it gives nice movement when I dance. This is not a mess. As you can tell, I am constantly messy, which you're gonna do something about. But here is the coolest Janelle jersey ever. I love it. It's so cute. Let's go, day one. I don't think I'll ever. We've been working together for a year, and I decided to get. What? What are people doing on run dates?
It's a very casual hang, you know.
Trying to match my face to emojis. Blank eyes. Did I get it? The best hidden spot in Singapore for evening. Oh my god, hidden spot here, hidden spot there. Stop the spots already. Okay, okay, no more spots. How much we spent on our holiday? Let's break it.
Think grocery prices are high right now? Wait until you see what they're paying for groceries in Hawaii. I've teamed up with Hawaii News Report. We sent our friend Amy out to a grocery store in Honolulu to compare the same exact products, and there are some major surprises along the way. We're going to start here with milk. So come on in for a gallon of milk right now.
Very possible. It's an ugly one though. At this point I wouldn't count it as a Head and Shoulders. I would just count it as an M if it came back down. Usually that the second shoulder forming usually will be a lot lower. It's basically an M, right? Like an M tilting down is the last shoulder, but it's kind of it's, pretty horizontal. The good head and shoulders are tilting a lot more lower. That second shoulder is usually lower than where it's at right now, but if it breaks down, then it's just rejecting the top. But we're pretty sideways, you know. Since 6:30, we've only moved sideways. So now we're back above perp, right? And what I try to do when we're stuck in these situations is I try to just understand price relative to perp, right? We've been above perp like 90% of the time today. So if we're above perp 90% of the time today, I'm trying to tell myself, is that where we're trying to go? Right? What happened here when price went towards the bottom, it literally was one candle and then the next candle pushed us right back above perp. So I'm trying to, see is price supposed to be above? Like whoever is controlling this, are they saying we want price above perp today? Because that rarely happens, but we're in the range. We're in between the 100 and the 200. It's tough to make a decision, so I always say if it's tough, then do nothing. And remember, if today is the one off day that we're gonna get this week, don't don't let it drain your bank account. Remember, there's days like this that we cannot. There's nothing we can do about it. They happen. Low volume happens. Price ranges. Our job is to protect our investment. That's all our job is to do. Today it could be bad. Tomorrow it could be great. But if we have no money to trade tomorrow, well, then it's a pretty bad day. We're at 30 seconds. Price back on perp. And remember, our entries that we take usually go the right direction fairly quickly, right? So at this point in your guys' trading careers, if you guys are taking a absurd amount of entries on a day like this, that's the problem, right? There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it anymore. You guys have all traded long enough that you know. Usually, when we get into an entry, it's gonna go the right way really quickly, and if it doesn't, then there's the likelihood that we're either wrong or a day like today is gonna happen. So you gotta be able to recognize, right? You guys want to be professionals at this. You need to recognize. You need to take the one loss or the one winner, and be fine with not taking anything after that. Because I took 630 and I held it as it hit the doji at the top, and that was all I took. I took like $100 off of that, and ever since then I haven't gotten into anything else. I looked at the chopsticks here, and I was like, that's probably worth one contract to see if we continue and break the uptrend. But other than that, I'm not red for the day. And right now, believing in the top side I'm fine with believing in the top side because of what I see price doing relative to perp. Like yes, perp is on it, but perp is making its way above it. All these times that price pushed back under perp, the very next candle got us right back above. Right now we're underneath. We're working on trying to get back above perp now. If it wants to come back down, then hey, so be it. But I'm not going to keep entering in, and I'm not going to. More importantly, I'm not going to trade at a normal lot size when I know that the first entry I already took didn't just take off like it normally does. That's already my kicker. We're not always right. We're not always right, and it's not us, it is the chart. And because we can't control the chart, we can only control the amount of losses that we allow ourselves to take. And remember, think about all the losses you guys have taken. And then think about all the winners you guys have taken. Like the losers are the reasons why it's not profitable, right? So do the math. It's in the data. It means you have to lose less, which means you have to trade less, which means you have to be more accurate with your entries. We got price still here. Now it's underneath perp. Just remember, we cannot avoid losses. We can't avoid losses. We can't avoid having to take small profits. Sometimes it happens. All you gotta do is survive. $7.54 already. Today wants to be a bunk day, so be it.
Charges including abuse of a family member. The judge ordered him to take a mental health examination. Our Chelsea Davis has the details. UFC Hall of Famer BJ Penn will soon be taking on a different kind of fitness challenge. A psychologist will determine if the MMA legend is mentally fit and Pino responsible for multiple criminal charges against him, including abuse of a family member, refusing to comply with a police officer, and violating a temporary restraining order.
So I don't know if we're ready to break up. I don't think that trend line's real.
Legal analyst Gina Gormley is not associated with any of Penn's cases, but says there could be multiple outcomes. In the case of penal responsibility, the examiner is there to determine whether or not the person or the individual had the cognitive capacity at the time of the alleged offense. In other words, the doctor could determine if Penn is fit to proceed. In that case, the criminal cases will continue where it left off. If Penn is deemed not fit to proceed, he will be committed to the custody of the state and be placed in an appropriate facility for treatment.
Maybe on 3 occasions you said, Mr. Penn, I know you're a smart man. I just think that you should get a lawyer because of all the different legal stuff. So how did I go from a smart man to taking a mental health examination?
The 46-year-old and his attorney argue the need for a mental health
Wick to the top, volume down.
a factual basis for one.
I'm asking the court to just place most, if not all, weight on what happens in court versus what the prosecutor is relying on, which seems to me, the bulk of it at least, seems to be social media posts.
The only way out is in.
Penn has posted videos on his Instagram page wearing a wig and claiming his mother is an imposter. 79-year-old Hilo businesswoman Lorraine Shim claims her examinations. The examiner is examiner is there to determine whether or not the person or the individual had the cognitive capacity at the time of the alleged offense.
In other words, the doctor could determine if Penn is fit to proceed. In that case, the criminal cases will continue where it left off. If Penn is deemed not fit to proceed, he will be committed to the custody of the state and be placed in an appropriate facility for treatment.
Maybe on 3 occasions you said, Mr. Penn, I know you're a smart man. I just think that you should get a lawyer because of all the different legal stuff. So how did I go from a smart man to taking a mental health examination?
The 46-year-old and his attorney argued the need for a mental health evaluation, saying there's no factual
Volume down.
What's the best way to deal with a coworker? Often don't miss Japanese Give yourself before entering the bathtub. No jumping in. Get in quietly. Don't put your hair in the bathtub. Sit and relax. No towels in the bathtub. No swimming in the bathtub. Bring a small towel, not the bath towel. Bring a small towel, not the bath towel, and lightly wipe yourself so that you don't wet the floor. Don't forget to
Works to the bottom. Come on. Make up your mind. It's 8 o'clock here. I'm giving this day till about 8:15. If we're not getting any movement outside of where we currently are, so be it. Because as you guys are noticing, right, if price hasn't made its move away from perp already, we're probably ranging. Don't force anything. Don't keep pushing that button if you know we're ranging. Price looks like it's trying to test perp again. It's just a wild day. Wild day stuck in between these two levels.
you notice after the IG story yesterday, I kind of disappear. I didn't post anything. When I
Wick to perp.
while shooting the IG story. Yes. So what happened was, as I was closing the door, my toes went underneath the door. So now my baby toe has tripled in size, swollen, lost its mobility, and I'm freaking out. Happy Monday!
Are you okay?
You've ever had?
Sorry.
Was that the hardest punch you've ever had?
No, no, because when I was young, I take punch with or horse.
A horse?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
A horse?
Rejection to perp. Nothing real confident.
Horse, yeah. I work in farm. I go to, hey, get out, get out, get out, get out. Boom,
All right. So
I'm
then,
out.
question.
Zero fight, zero win, KO.
So the horse is unbeaten. What do you think of that? You don't punch as hard as a horse kicks.
I'm not horse.
Yeah.
Of course.
He's got
Horse,
the feet.
horse punch one
Don't
time.
go far.
I'm punch one, two, one, two, one, two, one, two, one, two, 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 two. My opponent, what's going on? What's going on? Please, 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 please.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bells rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing.
So Doji under perp. Maybe we'll get some direction here. Maybe not. Also, maybe we're not gonna go anywhere. It is Columbus Day, right? I mean, it's not a big deal for the markets, but got some volume heading down now.
His mouth sets me on fire as he drags his tongue from my slit entrance to my clit. White hot pleasure stretches through my body like lightning.
This is what I fantasize about. Lawyer. Your taste. Your scent. The little gasps you take right before you come.
He enters as he uses his rob me of every thought. He swirls around that sensitive bud over and over, teasing, arousing, driving me higher and higher, but denies me the very touch I needed.
This feels like a beautiful surprise.
He scrapes his teeth over me delicately. Yes. His tongue follows.
What the fuck is that? That's him selling off. Now we're just awake. Guess we do kind of have this uptrend forming. We're just really bouncing up and down. I don't know, guys. I got 5 minutes left on this day. If nothing pops off outside of this little range, I'm done for the day. None of these candles are giving any direction. They're giving direction back into the range. That's why I don't want to take anything, right? If we see direction pushing us outside, that's easier because then we get the break. But right now we got this downtrend. See, so we have this little mini wedge. A little mini wedge. Now we're getting some volume again. Got this little mini wedge formed here. Price is back above perp. Are we breaking up? 2.5 minutes.
We're finally seeing each other.
We're not seeing each other.
Oh, what a cute couple.
Oh, pussies.
You don't mean that. I'm so glad we're finally spending time together alone. I think we should eat some pineapple tonight together.
Hell nah.
You know, I'm actually so good at cooking.
I'm not
Like, I can
hungry.
really cook for you. It's so much fun hanging out today. See you again. Okay, get home safe. Text me. We're finally seeing each other.
We're not seeing each other.
Oh, what a cute couple.
Oh, pussies.
Whoa! Oh no! His knee's gone. What a tragedy that is. Oh, that's just awful.
Being injured in any circumstance is not great, but being injured in front of 25,000 cold fans, that's, in my opinion, the worst possible way to get injured.
Tom Aspinall is absolutely heartbroken.
I had so many doubts after that big year, doing rehab every day twice.
Big ass volume. Yep. Little wedge that we're breaking out of possibly here. Once again, it's hard when we're in it, but letting the data play out, letting the candles form whatever it's forming, makes it easier for us to visually see what we're in. Because now that we're here at this point, I can see the little wedge that we've formed, and now possibly breaking out of it. 36 seconds. And that's why you gotta remember, unless if you can't make a decision, it's probably because we're in a wedge or range. And if that happens, let these candles play out, and then you can see, like, yeah, draw your trend lines. We're stuck in a range. Wait for it to break out. We're still, it's still the high of the day. But price is back above perp. If really at this point, 8:15 a.m. and price doesn't push above or below this 6:30 candle area, then I'll leave it up to the charts and do absolutely nothing. Liddy's going green, off the 100 again. If we break the high, maybe we'll get a little push. Got some volume now. So this is the first break outside of the high of the day. 50 seconds left. Also breaking us out of this range area. Okay, what are you doing now? Like sugar on my tongue. Come on. Jamon Lee. Get some volume up. This motherfucker knew I was gonna jump off at 8:15 if it didn't pop off. They're listening to me always. Like sugar on my tongue. So what I'm looking at is if we can break this high of the day. We do have a really big downtrend line off the higher time frames, but we got R1 gold zone and the 500 up there. So if we're going to get magnetized towards that area, and remember all day we have not touched the gold zone yet, so we'll head up to one of them. Just a matter of time as we were stuck in this range. Now price is heading up. I'm just going to be cautious here as we hit this downtrend line and the level. This is also the 200, so the last time that we were here up by the 200 we kind of rejected, so yeah. Nice volume. So we'll be fighting this downtrend line. Downtrend 200 level. We need that gold zone push. We need the gold zone push. Get up there. be right back. I need to find my fingernail clipper. Oh, my previous candle wicked the top. Ooh, that could be dangerous. Liddies are still green. I'm gonna remember how much time we put into waiting for these candles to break, and I'm not gonna rush it. Something about cutting fingernails is very satisfying. Got some more volume to the top here. I am worried about price breaking this level, so I'm going to be cautious here. I'm already in profit. I'm trying to let this play out as much as I can. We are making a nice break through the level. That's nice. That's nice. My entry was like, I waited for 810. I waited for 810 only because I didn't trust being in the wedge. But then I added all the contracts at 810. I didn't take a normal initial one. Right? Cuz when we're in the range, we're going to break out, right? Like that's a fact. And I know sometimes you guys question, when I get in. And at a certain point, you got to tell yourself it's going to break out. So I just trusted at 810 when I saw that big volume that it's going to go up. So I just jammed all my contracts one time. I'm pushing about $430 in profit right now. So as we get above this level, I'll probably move stop loss into profit here. Which I probably should right now, actually. So price finally broke that wedge that we were in right here. I'm floating in profit 400-ish. As we just broke that level, I'm going to go ahead and move stop loss into profit. Right about here is the level. So I'm going to go a solid 300, 315 in profit. So that's a guarantee 630. I'm guaranteed 630 minimum on this day. This is nice. Had to wait a while. Had to wait all the way to 8:15. I threatened to get off the chart before it finally broke out. So worth the wait. I'm going to see if we can get to the gold zone as we are heading up that direction. Stop loss and profit at the next level. Let go. Finally broke Well, I'm solid, guys. I'm taking a minimum of 630 today. Stop losses in profit at the level, and yeah, see if we can get this finish push to R1. Make this patience really worth it. I mean, it's worth it regardless. Ending the day in a profit, it's always worth it. I don't care if it's $35 like last week. Profit is profit. And it was just being patient. Well, that first entry will put me up though. That first entry was 100, 6, 7, 8. So I'm at like 813 right now. Always kind of recognize that, guys. Like if your initial entry doesn't just go the way it's supposed to, just kind of, use that as an indicator that price might range. Because how do I know we're in a range? I don't know, right? When we start ranging, I don't know that we're in a range. But all I know is that we are doing not average things with the juice strap, right? And that's kind of what I go based off of. That's why it's always based off of deduction. We got to think based off of deduction. If it's not an average day, then I'm not going to expect the normal movement. Little rejection. Good morning, Chazariah. What time you work? You're off today? It's Monday. I'm trying to cut my toenails, but I can't get this one little spot. I should probably just wait until I get back to Vietnam. The price is retracing just a little bit. My stop loss is basically at the bottom of this current candle, so if I get tapped out there, I get tapped out there, and I just got tapped out there. I'm good. I'm good. 315, 630, 630 plus 200, that's 830. 830 on the day. $200 entry, 315, 630 on the second. So big rejection here. I'm glad I moved stop loss into profit. I'm glad I'm done. Later, Jizo. So as price is rejecting this downtrend line and the level, I'm done for the day. I'm not gonna sit here and wait to see if we're gonna make the finish push or possibly reject over here. So I'm pretty happy with the results. I'm still ending the day in a profit, and that's all that matters. So anybody have any questions? Today's just a normal range day and we had to wait for it to break out. Other than that, every day's the same, guys. Every day's the same. It's just recognizing. Recognize that if it doesn't just do what we're expecting it to do, it's a possible range day. Because I always get into the first entry very confident, and the moment it tells me like it's not going the right way, I'll quickly exit, take my small profit or small loss, and then I'll just wait. Especially today's 6:30. The length of 6:30's candle, right? That's where price ranged in the whole time until it finally made a move that it wanted to go out. And after the wick to the bottom, right, the hammer at 805, that was really when I started to pay attention and see if it, pushed back above perp. And it's not a matter of did it push back above perp, because yes, it did, but it's a matter of when you're watching this real time, you can see the volume in the candle, and I can see intention. So the intention at this point, after we just had chopsticks over here at 7:30, hammer to the bottom, heading up, I'll take that. I'll take that risk knowing that we're going to break out of the range at some point. It's always a risk. It's always a risk, but the more that you let the range play out, the more you let the wedge get smaller, the easier it is to see the intention of the candles. Right now we're overbought, price is coming back down. Once again, I'm happy that I moved stop loss into profit right there. I am solid. So 2 entries today. My first one at 6:30, exited at the level. Second one was here as we're pushing up to this level and downtrend, and I'm out for the day. 830 for the day on 2 entries. Later, Zazam. Alright, everybody, I'm Gucci for the day. If you guys need me, get a hold of me. If not, I'll see you guys on tomorrow, October 14th, Tuesday. Alrighty, guys, take it easy.